How do you survive in the house with no water? This question I've got asked a lot. When people get to know that I bought a house in the middle of nowhere with no connection to any civilization, to electricity or heating system, they are kind of fine because everyone understands that you can install solar panels and you'll be fine. But how do you survive without having running water in your house? Would you buy a house like this? I did. 2 years ago, I started a journey to look for my dream house. I wanted it to be in a beautiful place with no neighbors, in the middle of nowhere, with beautiful views. And when I go to the supermarket or local market, I have to drive beautiful mountain roads. And after 5 months living in my car, I finally found a house like this house. It was built 125 years ago. It definitely has history like I wanted to. I have the most beautiful views in the world when I drive to buy groceries. And every day when I wake up and breathe in the smell of pines and rosemary, I'm thinking, this is a paradise. But this house didn't have, as you know, connection to any source of power at all, but also it didn't have any source of water. It's not that I was looking for the house without water. I was quite tight on budget, that was it. So, my house doesn't have a source of water. And I want to show you how I live without the source of water, because it's not actually that rare. I'm not the only one who lives like this. In the houses like mine, in the middle of nowhere in Spain, people do live without source of water. Let me show you how. What is the normal source of water? Normally, when you buy a house, you are connected to the grid, and just like in the apartment, you get the water from the nearest village or town, right? But here where I live, the village that I'm related to is 12 kilometers away, so I'm not connected to their water system, obviously. So this source of water is eliminated, right? Then you can do a well. I don't know how it is in other countries, but in Ukraine, where I'm from, there is very high probability when you make a well, there will be water. Where I live here in Spain, the chances are that there won't be water. There is a person who lives, I can call them a neighbor. They live in similar conditions that I live. He made a well 150 meters deep because we are in the mountains. And at 150 meters, they encountered water a little bit. So they digged another 20 meters just to find out that the amount of water is extremely low and it doesn't worth it to keep going. Also, I have to say that he was lucky to encounter the water at all, because another person who lives nearby, they made a well 150 as well, and they didn't encounter the water, and they just ended up paying for the well without water. In Spain, these companies that do this service, they don't guarantee anything. They can dig where you tell them, or they can dig where they feel it's okay to dig, but there is no guarantee at all that there will be water. And to give you the estimation, approximately it costs about 20,000 euros to dig the well without guarantees. Well, I don't have this money. Another option for the house is to make use of the roof and collect the rainwater. The roof that I have is the old traditional Arabic type roof that is quite popular in Spain. The rainwater runs down and then it's collected into some deposit that you can reuse later. I repaired my entire roof myself. I made a video before about this, so my roof is prepared to collect water. But there is a problem. It doesn't rain here. If you watched my video about me repairing the roof, you saw how awful my roof was leaking before. But the thing is that it was just like 4 or 5 heavy rains in the wintertime. And then there is absolutely no rain. Today is 14th of July when I'm recording this. The last rain here was in the beginning of April. And after that, there was no rainy day at all. Like, no rain. So the plan to live from the rainwater is a little bit optimistic. I do collect rainwater, by the way. I'll show you later how, but it's just a little bit. It's not enough for anything at all. If I rely only on this, I wouldn't be able to survive here. So really, in a place like this, where you're not connected to the water system, where you don't have well, and where it doesn't rain, so you cannot collect rainwater, the only solution is this thing behind me. It's called AlHibi, it's an Arabic word. I'll show you how it works. Here is the key. By the way, the name of the grandpa who lived here 30 years ago is on this key. And when the owner of the house, his grandson, was giving me the key of the house after I bought the house, he kissed it. It was so touchy. Well, here's the key. I would like to thank to all the lovely people who are supporting my channel. I haven't posted any single video during the last 2 months, and I'm incredibly grateful that you keep supporting my channel. Thanks a million. And for everyone else who would like to become a member of this channel as well, check out the join button below this video and show your support to my channel. Cheers. Well, here's the key. Basically, it's an underground room filled with water. Before, there was a bucket here that you pull down over there and you get the water. This is a deposit for the water. As you can see, it's underground, but it's not below the house itself. It's on the side of the house. And this is the right way to do this, because sometimes they built this AlHibi on the side of the house. I saw houses like this. And the humidity from this AlHibi gets to the house, and then the entire wall of the house is covered with moss and everything. Also, I saw the house where AlHibi was partly underneath the house. It's a bad situation as well, because the humidity gets up to the house. In my case, I'm super lucky that this is built in a very mindful way, and I don't have any problems at all to have water next to my house. When I came here, the AlHibi wasn't like it is now. It was super dirty and there were a lot of plants there. It was like an abandoned pool. I had to clean up this entire room, clean up all the plants, and then repair the walls inside. If you're wondering, it's done with the same material that is used for swimming pools. It's called pinta fibra or something. It's painted with fiber. It has not decorative, but enforcing power. It kind of repairs and leaves the walls waterproofed. So I cleaned it up, repaired it, disinfected it, and then I filled it in with new clean water. And now how the water gets here. Traditionally, this AlHibi was built with the idea that rainwater will be collected when there is a rain, get into AlHibi, and then they will be able to use it afterwards. But the climate here now is very different from what it was 30 years ago. There are different plants here now, there are different animals now, because now basically this area is a desert. And talking with local people, I understood that even 10 years ago, cherries, apples, pears, peaches was quite normal here. And now it's not possible. Nothing except almonds, fig trees, olive trees, and grapes grows here. Of the heat and lack of water. To be true, living in the city, I wasn't very much concerned about climate and global warming, especially that we had other things to be concerned about. But here I can see with my own eyes the impact that climate change makes on nature. Trees that were growing here before don't grow anymore. Fruits on the trees that are growing here, like almond trees and olive trees, they are smaller and smaller each year, and there are a small amount of fruits because there is no enough water. You can tell this by looking at the soil. It's mainly rock and clay. The forest fire is a huge thing here. Last year I was volunteering here as a ranger for forest fire, where my task was to go the mountain roads and to look around to spot the small fires until they get big fires, because it's very hard to put down. And this problem with these forest fires, it wasn't that sharp even 10 years ago. Well, back to the story. So, if there is no rain, how does the water get into my AlHibi? Believe me or not, but I order it by phone. I can't order Uber Eats here, obviously, but I can order the water delivery. So I call the guy and I ask him to bring me water, and then he comes in his truck filled with water and fill my AlHibi. The thing is, I'm very lucky again to have a big AlHibi. This underground room is about the size of my bedroom here, which is 9 square meters, but also it has the height of 3 meters. So in the end, I have something about 27 cubic meters of space that I fill with water. It's considered to be a big AlHibi, and this is super cool because the water doesn't cost a lot, but the delivery costs a lot because he brings it from the town 23 kilometers from here. So he comes into this truck, and the truck is 26 cubic meters. I'm able to use the entire amount I'm paying for and fill in my AlHibi. If you're wondering, the price for this is 300 euros. I have no idea if this is a normal price, if the price in other districts is higher, lower. For me, this is the only way to receive water. And now, for how long does it last, this water? When you pay for the truck bringing water to you and you fill this AlHibi and you see how little and everything, you become a little bit conscious about how you use the water. I love showers. I just enjoy showering. I can spend under the shower 20 minutes easily. without thinking about nothing. And I think this is the most creative time of my life. But now I don't do it. I shower quickly. The water that I use to wash dishes, I reuse it later to water plants that I'm not going to eat, to water flowers, for example. I planted a little garden this year. Some plants survived and some not, but now I have tomatoes and I'm extremely happy about this. It was my birthday a few weeks ago and I wanted to spend it in my house in Kiev. So I went there for a trip. I want to show you the state of my plants after me being away for 2 weeks. Maybe you remember, I had something here. I had tomatoes, melon, radish. As you can see, I was using an automatic watering system, and I guess it worked for some time. But obviously, the amount of water wasn't enough to keep this alive. Well, let's see what we have here. On this side, I have a little bit better picture. This is tomato. This is dried tomato. It looks very sad, but it's not dead. And I think if I water it right now, I think it might get back to life. Here I had a little garden with tomatoes, and I was super worried about this garden. And look at them! They're not dead! They're not dead! Look how many! Well, to be true, I planted them as tomatoes cherry, but I don't think that they're cherry tomatoes. I don't know what type they are, but they don't look like cherries. I'm going to give them water and I think they are going to feel very well. Look how many. I have never done any gardening before and I'm super excited to eat tomato that I have grown. I think this is an incredible experience. So I use water for that as well. I use it for washing myself, for washing the house, for washing clothes, and to wash dishes. Every now and then I add chlorine to this water to keep it safe, but I don't drink it. For drinking, I use water from the water source nearby. And for cooking as well, I use water from the water source. Well, this is how I get water into my house. As you know, there was no electricity here before, and people who lived here, they used manual water pump to pump water from AlHibi to the water deposit that was placed on level higher than the house. And then from this water deposit, the water with gravity would down into the pipes. So they did have water in the kitchen and in the bathroom. When I came here, there was a water pump in the house that I repaired and I tried using it, but it was so hard. I gave up on this idea, and after I installed solar panels, I bought an electric water pump. I installed all the pipes. And now I have water normally in my kitchen and I have shower. Later I had even a warm shower, not just cold shower, but even warm shower because I installed water heater. And then there came a day when I installed washing machine and was able to wash my clothes here because before I was going to the town 30 kilometers away to wash my clothes. But how I planned and installed water system in my house, this is another story for another time. Interestingly enough, with the water prediction for this place, I had the similar situation that I had with the sun. If you look at water prediction using the services where it tells you how much does it rain in this place, I got absolutely different numbers from what they are in reality. In reality, it rains much less than it was predicted by the service. And the same thing happened with the solar panel prediction. The amount of sun predicted by the official source for this area turned out to be very different from what it really is. If you would like to see how the predictions are different from the real-world results that I have, check out this video where I'm sharing all this data. Cheers. Bye.